2, 3, 4.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today.
Mom was a quilter long before she took up this endearing craft. Like discarded patches, she loved each individual for their uniqueness, appreciated how each contributed to the totality of the family's pattern. Stitching the fabric of her family quilt, she ensured that everyone felt a part of the bigger picture, and once united, like the quilts she created, generously made them a present for the future to love and cherish until time immemorial, beyond the boundaries of her earthly life. Her quilter's craft was expressed as a lifetime educator. The children, teachers, staff, all part of a jumbled mixture. She arranged and organized and directed until a cohesive, interactive pattern was created that could be understood by all and interpreted in their own unique view of the world. Feeling like a part of something bigger, the continuous thread. Feeling like a part of something bigger, the continuous thread of Mom's will holding together.
A brotherhood of man. Imagine all.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. It is so nice to celebrate with everyone. So, my husband and ghostwriter helped me write the following for Mother's Day a few years ago, and it just feels right to share this with everybody today. Dear Mom, thinking back over the years, I am reminded of what a wonderful role model you have been for me and the ways in which you have influenced my life. I saw a strong professional woman who was first an educator and then as principal displayed determination, creativity, innovating progressive educational programs, and courage in your ability to handle difficult situations with teachers, students, and their parents. At the same time, you were the family organizer, promoting family gatherings, ensuring that extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, brothers and sisters, had a chance to be together periodically to the benefit of all of us. Alex and Michael's Saturday morning chores, meals together, and so many other things in my parenting are copied from your example. And of course, you are a great quilter, so I thought I'd share these thoughts with you on Mother's Day. I hope you have a good one. Love, Deb. So rest in peace, Mother, knowing you are loved.
Imagine no possessions.
Great photo. All of these photos are just so fantastic. Yeah, what a smile, you know. Again, my friends, on behalf of Faith United Church of Christ, again, I want to just say thank you for coming out, as Deborah just said today, to celebrate and remember the life of our beloved Mary Lou Alexander. It's a sad day as we, again, bear a sense of grief, loss, and yes, even emptiness, as we recognize and begin to accept that just hard reality, you know, that Mary's physically no longer with us. But then again, it's also, again, a day of celebration that we have a time to come together to honor her memory, family and gathered here and online with us, and friends and all sorts of church members. Look at all the church folks that Mary touched that have also come in her memory to share stories of her life about how she touched you or how she made you laugh. I know she made all of you laugh, and how she inspired us. I know she inspired me. Or just to reflect on her gentle presence as she lived her life. And so thank you again for coming out today, and to the Alexander family, especially husband Carl, and children Donna and Deborah and David, and all of your families that have gathered here with us today, as well as Vesta and Martha, come from way far away to be here this day, and other relatives who are here. And for those online, just please accept again our heartfelt condolences. Your mom was such a great person, and so we really extend. It was our pleasure to get to know her here. So as a spiritual community that she found her home in, we just thank God that we had a time to get to know her in the physical sense, and that we'll also have a chance to develop a new relationship with her in the spiritual sense as well. So thanks for being here. Peace be with all of you. As I spent some time this week, meeting with awesome family. I love this family. And just reflecting on Mary, since I shockingly heard about her death last week on Saturday, I found myself, smiling a lot. I think many of you probably have been, because for me, it's the smiles come because of the time I got to know her at Faith Church, and all those memories have come back. And when I was writing yesterday this reflection, it wasn't really just one Mary that hit me, that provided the inspiration for all of my smiles, but really there are many Marys, but I had to just keep this, under 4 hours today. So I had to identify 3. I had to just pick out 3 Marys as I came to know her, and it's those 3 Marys I just want to share briefly. The first Mary was just Mary. It was Mary herself, my Minnesota buddy, who always came into church no matter what the event was, with a smile, with warmth, with grace, and always with a deep and abiding sense of wisdom. Mary as a person was just so authentic, and it was striking each time I saw her, and she carried herself so confidently, but always with great humility, as though she didn't want to let on that she all too often knew she was probably the smartest person in the room, right? That wasn't Mary. She carried herself with such humility. Now, I remember Mary's passion, especially during the Thursday spiritual study group. Some of you folks are here right now that really got to know her, where she was a really active and engaged participant in, and Mary would always have so much to contribute to our many and varied discussions over the years, and always made sure to speak for quiet Carl almost all of the time. Because as Carl was fond of saying, she'll say it way better than I could anyways. And so as I got to know Mary, I was welcomed into her life. She invited me in and all of us in, and we got to learn about her passions, like the importance of education. This former principal, this highly educated person, and her passion for education, especially in the lives of kids, and especially well-rounded programs that stretched kids' imagination. She just had a gift and wanted to share it. Or a dedication to lifelong learning and being. I remember her saying often that she was living as though there was always something else to learn. Always something else to learn. And finally, she had a strong and passionate dedication to the pursuit of women's rights, and especially the rights of girls when it came to education and to learning. Not to mention, struck a real chord with me here, her love of quilting that we've talked about, but maybe even more so for me, her love of Minnesota sports. Especially the Minnesota Lynx, where she was a huge fan of, but also my Minnesota Vikings as well. Carl, someday we're going to win a championship, I promise, and Mary will lead the way. But also, it was really more just her, her enjoyment of a deep conversation, and the way she was just so truly engaged with the life stories of those that she sat and talked with and got to know. She touched many lives, no doubt, through her robust professional life, and it was really impressive. But she really forged incredible relationships. of depth with those that were honored just to call her an acquaintance and a friend over the years. I count myself among the lucky to know this Mary. That's my first Mary, and it's Mary. Second Mary I had the privilege to get to know was the Mary who came with a sidecar known as Carl. I think you know better than all of us, Carl, that you are one lucky man, right? I hope she reminded you of that often. I have a feeling she did. I seem to remember some of those times. But the two of you together were like a love story in the making, you know? Constantly together, and when I would see you and so in love and supportive of one another's endeavors in life, and the three of us formed a bond really from the first day that I met the two of you together, and we sat down for coffee and we talked for hours about, again, our love of Minnesota, about your time living on Lake Minnetonka, you know, all of you, great memories, and of course, again, our common love of Minnesota sports and the UCC churches, you know, that we held in common, and so much more. And meeting you both and sharing the stories the two of you created through your love for one another, stories that were planted in love with deep and strong roots. So it was just really inspiring to witness it over the years. And I'd watch the way that I peek out, during worship over the years here, and I'd watch the way that you look at one another, with just admiration and love, and how you held hands, and how, when you shared something in a group, Mary would look at you shocked. Carl talked in a group. I remember all those moments between the two of you, and I know you'll find that funny. You were always the quiet one. You admit that yourself. But I just saw how you would sit together and just be together, and it was just so moving. Your bond was so strong. Your bond was so strong, and it was apparent to all who witnessed it and were a part of it. Finally, the third Mary that I loved getting to know was Mary the mom. Mary the mom to 3 kids that she loved more than life itself and challenged more than anything, as well as the awesome, amazing family, that surrounded you all. Kind of a widening of the circle that just made Mary's heart sing. It was so strong and evident when she would talk about you all. And she loved you so much, and it showed brightly in how often she shared the happenings in your lives, which was often with others. I mean, the Minnesota Lynx championship was a great thing for her. As you'll see in a picture soon, she loved that moment, but she'd give it all up like that for 1 second with her family, with her kids, with her grandkids, with her sisters. I mean, she loved, and I'll never especially forget Mary the mom. My many lunches and meetings and groups and other things I had with her, and there were quite a few. She reveled in sharing stories of your lives, all that was going on from Sweden to Massachusetts to Minnesota and Dunedin and everywhere in between. But she would especially light up and beam proudly when one of you was coming to visit, or when there was a celebration plan like Thanksgiving. I heard about that Thanksgiving a couple years ago for like a year. Or when there was a holiday, another holiday where she'd get to see her beautiful family come home to be with her. She cherished those times so much. Mary loved being a mom. She loved being a mom. And she loved being a sister and a grandma and an aunt and a great-grandma too, right? And a mother-in-law. And it showed each time she would get the chance to share a moment from your lives or to spend time with you during a visit. I hope you can all take those memories that you have of her, of all those times, and just hold them. Take them into your heart and keep them there forever, because God, she loved you guys. As we begin the process of looking forward and establishing that new relationship with Mary in spirit, I just want to close with some words that Donna, Deborah, and David wrote this week, or they shared with me this week, as they were writing Mary's obituary, to share with the world, and they were reflecting on their mom and the impact that she made not only on them as her children, but on the world as well. And we'd all be so lucky to have such words written about us. They were talking here about Mary's legacy, her legacy. And I'm a firm believer that the legacy we leave imprinted on others' hearts, especially those closest to us, is one of the most important things that we can leave behind. So they wrote these words. Mom's unwavering dedication to education, her compassion for others, and her commitment to equality will forever be remembered. She leaves behind a family who will cherish her memory and strive to live up to the example she set. May she rest in peace, knowing that her life's work has touched the lives of many and left an indelible mark on the world. That's a legacy. That's a legacy. If we can all live like Mary, with that kind of legacy, with her passion and love and dedication to making lives in the world and her family a better place and loved, well, oh, what a world. What a world we could truly have. And that is a legacy today, not to mourn or lament its loss, but rather to celebrate and to smile at and to use as inspiration in our own lives to go and do the same. So rest in peace, our faithful, compassionate, and loving Mary Alexander. May your loving spirit shine on us always, and may your legacy move us to dream new dreams for the causes that inspire your passion in the world you love so much. Oh, and go Twins, and especially go Lynx, because Mary's going to bring another one home for us all. Amen. Amen.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Thank you, Tom. That was one of Mom and Dad's favorite musicals. So, my mother was a teacher. Of the lessons she taught me when I was young, I remember few. What I learned later, I remember more. Mom believed in lifelong education. She practiced it. She did as many in her generation and continued her education after high school. For her, it was a ticket out of small-town life in Alva, Oklahoma. After college, she married and started a family with my father, Carl. When his studies took the family to Manhattan, Kansas, she continued her education and earned a master's degree in linguistics. This while managing a relocation, raising 3 children under the age of 6, and teaching English as a second language in her spare time. With a PhD in his pocket, my father accepted a position as a research scientist in Minnesota. Once there, Mom settled into a challenging new lifestyle with 2 professional, hardworking parents, raising 3 lively children, and no local family support systems in place. Mom was a much-liked English teacher, like whoever likes their English teacher, and a well-respected colleague. She created a whole new concept in education and started an interdisciplinary course where English, social studies, and science were woven together in a daily 3-hour block. As we children were becoming more self-sufficient, Mom returned to graduate studies in educational administration. Before completing her PhD, she was recruited to become a junior high school principal. Once there, she introduced the middle school concept to the school district and led the conversion. She was respected by students, colleagues, and the community for her commitment to equality, education, and work to identify and address inequities. Upon retirement, Mom learned something new. She became a quilter. First, in the company of her twin sister Martha, she began with gathering inspiration from quilt shows and doing small projects. As she gained more skills and knowledge through quilting classes, her projects expanded in scope. One of her most impressive quilts is the one hanging behind me. It was made for the new millennium and entitled Celebration, a perfect representation for this celebration. Proud Mary. Mom was fun. She made friends easily and welcomed readily all into our home. She lived an open and affirming lifestyle and passed on those values to us. She was well loved and respected with a strong moral compass and was inclusive even before it was a word. That was in the 70s. No wonder she felt so at home in this church. Words matter. At the end of Mom's life, Parkinsonism changed her communication skills. Her cadence was slower and her voice softer. Her wisdom, wit, and humor remained. The day before she left us, a chaplain strolled into her room and politely introduced himself. Mom nodded slowly and waited for him to peddle his wares. In closure, he asked Mom if he could pray for her. No, was her quick and clear deadpan response. Anyone asking to do something for Mom was not the right way to go. Had he changed one word in that sentence, I think Mom would have accepted his offer. Mary, may I pray with you? Would have gotten Mom to yes. So, that's my mom.